Hello friends and welcome to Spilling Studio. My name is Sam and this week we have 7 new ARE practice questions for you. We have one question per exam and a bonus question at the end. So let's get into it. First up is practice management. Which of the following are included in the AIA Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct? Check all that apply. Respect and seek to improve society and the environment. Never render pro bono services. Avoid conflicts of interest. Advocate sustainable buildings and site design. Exercise biased judgment. The answer is respect and seek to improve society and the environment, avoid conflicts of interest, and advocate sustainable buildings and site design. The AIA Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct includes 6 canons. They are general obligations, obligations to the public, obligations to the client, obligations to the profession, obligations to colleagues, and obligations to the environment. Architects, when able, should provide pro bono services that aid the community. Architects should always exercise unbiased judgment. Make sure when you're reading these answers that you are reading every word and not just skimming through them, because it can be very easy to miss something like "un" before the word bias. Next up is project management. Which of the following members are the minimum required to assemble a project team? Check all that apply. The owner, contractor, architect, consultants, subcontractors, construction manager. Pause here to answer. And the answer is owner, architect, and consultants. The minimum team members required for a project are the owner, the architect, and the architect's consultants. The project team may include the contractor, construction manager, and/or major subcontractors, depending on the project type and delivery method. Our programming and analysis question is, which of the following urban planning patterns is the simplest for future development? Star, field, grid, satellite, megalopolis. The answer is grid. Grid patterns are created with the junction of 2 major roadways, and growth continues in a methodical perpendicular pattern until encountered by a natural formation such as a body of water or a mountain. Most of the major cities in the United States follow this pattern. Star patterns begin with a dense core and grow with development along radiating major transit routes, and low density development fills in between. Field patterns have no overall scheme and are developed as needed. Satellite patterns have a dense central core surrounded by smaller urban cores. These smaller cores are often connected by a roadway system, or sometimes called a beltway, so residents are able to travel between these smaller cities without having to go through the central core. A megalopolis pattern occurs when 2 cities are adjacent to each other and they grow at a similar rate. Areas between these cities are developed as both cities grow. Next up is project planning. An owner would like to reduce their building's internal heat load. Which of the following categories should the architect analyze for possible reductions? Check all that apply. Envelope, lighting, windows, equipment, roof type. Feel free to pause here to answer. And the answer is lighting and equipment. Internal heat loads include energy that is driven by heat gain from lighting, equipment, and occupants. The building's envelope, window systems, and roof type affect external heat loads of the building. I post new questions every week, so please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any ARE practice questions. Now on to project development. Which of the following are used to prevent water hammer? Check all that apply. Air chamber, angle valve, union, shock absorber, check valve. And the answer is air chambers and shock absorbers. Water hammer is a noise caused by a valve or faucet closing too quickly. This causes water to stop abruptly, which makes pipes shake. To prevent this, an air chamber can be installed above the connection to the faucet to ease the rush of water. A shock absorber is a compact vessel designed to be fitted close to the fixture to eliminate the noise created by water hammer. Unions are used to connect two rigid sections of pipe. Angle valves are used to control water at a single handle faucet, and check valves are used to limit water flow to one direction. For construction evaluation, our question is, an architect believes studs have been installed incorrectly and asks the contractor to uncover a portion of the work for examination. Once uncovered, it is determined that the studs were installed correctly. Who is responsible for covering the cost of the removal and replacement of the uncovered work? The contractor, the architect, the owner, the subcontractor, or the contractor and the subcontractor split the costs. And the answer is the owner. Since the architect did not specifically ask to inspect this work prior to it being covered and it has been found to conform to the contract documents, the owner is responsible for payment via a change order. If the work did not meet the requirements of the contract documents, the cost would be the responsibility of the contractor. Now, there is another scenario where the architect could have told the contractor, I want to inspect this work before you cover it. At that point, the contractor must notify the architect to review this work before it gets covered. If the contractor goes ahead and covers up that work and never notifies the architect, the costs are then the responsibility of the contractor. Last but not least, our bonus question this week is, the construction of a new elementary school has just begun. The contractor has notified the architect that the box culverts are being delivered this Friday. How often should the architect visit the construction site? Once a week? Every other week? At the start and end of the work? Whenever new materials are being delivered? As appropriate to the stage of construction. Pause here to answer. The correct answer is as appropriate to the stage of construction. Contract B101 states the architect shall visit the site at intervals appropriate to the stage of construction or as otherwise agreed upon between the owner and architect. The intent of these visits is to become generally familiar with the progress and the quality of the work completed, and to determine in general if the work observed is being performed in a manner indicating that the work, when fully completed, will be in accordance with the contract documents. That wraps up our questions for this week. Please go ahead and leave a comment below with a topic you'd like covered in the next video, and let me know how well you did on this week's questions. Thank you all for joining. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks!